His love. So won't you come, little sparrow, land on me, and I will set you up on the highest tree, little sparrow. And my story starts in a Christian home. From an early age, had this awe and this curiosity about God.
I have worked extensively in the fashion industry, worked as a model and an actress for many, many years, and then became a makeup artist.
My mom named me after her sister, who passed away when she was 5 years old and my mom was 7, and so I always felt like my name was really special.
I was 7 years old, she was healthy, just went in for a surgery on a heart murmur, and she passed away on the operating table. But before she went to surgery, she said, "Bye, Wendy. You're the best big sister a girl could ever have. I'll see you in heaven."
I think from an early age I just thought, you know, I want to go and be where my mom's sister is. When I was like 5, we prayed in the car and I had Jesus come in my life. And I just remember having such a real intimate relationship with God as an early child, just talking to God about the bugs and Jesus about the things outside. I just had these conversations with him about what I saw in the creation. And then when I was about 9 years old, coming up on 9, I remember the screaming and the yelling that happened at home. I remember the tears, and I remember praying to God, you know, and writing him a letter. I wrote God a letter, please don't let my parents get divorced. When that happened, I remember I wasn't angry with God, I was more just confused. I was really confused about how this could happen. My dad going through the pain and the things that he was going through really scared him. And so I decided that I was going to stay for him. I was 12 years old and trying to take care of my dad.
Part of it is I started trying to figure out how to heal my relationship with my daughter. I realized that I had gone through a period of time with my own mother because of my dad choosing to have an affair, and she was a younger woman and was involved in fashion and looked really cute and pretty, and I just blamed my mother. I chose to do everything opposite of my mother because I did not want to be in her position where a man that I cared about would trade me in for something more beautiful. I didn't want to be that woman. There were amazing, exciting things that happened. I had a season where I did pageants for a little bit and I was second runner-up to Mrs. America. But all of these pieces and all of these things were never enough. It was other people saying, "Oh, you're beautiful." A photographer telling you, "Oh, you're beautiful," so you could get a great smile on camera. But what I had to do was face the fact that I had never, ever really gone to my mom as a believer and said, "Mom, I really need to ask your forgiveness for trying to be completely not what you are, because I thought that what you were was so horrible, because that's why my dad left you."
Probably about 12 was when the rift started happening more between my mom and I. My dad remarried, I was 13. Just trying to do the whole back and forth, you know, trying to visit her and visit my dad, and just, it was really hard. And I became very bitter and very judging. I judged my mom. The more she tried to get close, the more I just pushed away. I was like, the more she squeezed on tight, the more I just was like, no, I don't want this, you know, and it was really hard. Going into high school, I slipped into this perfectionism and just trying to be the best person I could be. I wanted to die. I didn't think, I was like, I'm not worth it. So I prayed to God. I just remember praying in my bathroom and falling on the floor and just weeping and saying, "God, just take me, just kill me, I don't want it." And went to therapy and started going into doing that. They put me on a antidepressant. It was just getting to talk it out and talk out these things that was inside of me. That really helped.
There is no way to describe looking into your daughter's eyes and seeing hate. The only one that could heal that was Jesus.
I want to share this. This is so important because God showed me, that people are like roses, and that you can't make a rose bloom. You can't just rip it open. You can't make that bud open. It will die. You will kill it. You have to wait, and you have to water it, and you have to nurture it, and in the right season, it will bloom. That's what's beautiful about healing, because you look at a flower, and one day, all of a sudden, it's bloomed. He wanted me to have grace for myself, and patience for myself, and love myself.
And we needed to come to a point, as I did with my own mother, but I had to come to a point with my daughter to be completely honest with her and ask her forgiveness as her mom for what I poured into her life, sometimes as a mistake, but sometimes purposely to try to cover my own tracks.
So I went to go visit my mom in California. Once I reached college, I felt that freedom. That was when we began to have these conversations that were really hard. I needed to hear for myself the things that were wrong.
Bottom line is I lied to her. And she's a young woman, she's a young teenager, and she knows. And how can you have a relationship that way? You can't even have a good friendship when you're having a relationship where one person is covering their tracks and trying to be something that they're not.
It has been such a process. It wasn't overnight, and it wasn't like, bam, all of a sudden we're best friends, and like, we still have had to work through a lot, but it was the beginning. Yeah, I am with you, my child. Yeah, I am with you, my child. Yeah, I am with you, my child. And at the time, I ended up living with my mom. Learned how to cook and learned how to do the things that I missed out. And God, He's so good.
When God brought Chrissy and I to the point where we could forgive each other and pray for each other and say, okay, we had a rough time. We had a rough 10 years. And as an adult woman, she and I could come together as two adult women and still be daughter and mother. And then God has birthed something completely new in that.
The funny thing about when I was little, I always remember, oh yeah, you'll hit your growth spurt. You'll get tall. Like, you kept telling me that.
Your legs will get longer, you'll get tall.
And I know we're sitting, but I'm 5'2", and you're how tall? You're
5'9".
5'9". So.
It's all in the legs from the... That's so awesome though. But when we're like this, we're equal. It's awesome.
I understand being in that place and thinking, I don't want anything to do with my mom. I don't want any, just having that judgment and that anger and all that stuff. And now I can tell you it's possible. Don't give up, because God never gave up. He never gave up on us. So don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on your relationships with others. Don't give up on your relationship with your mom. He's got it.
Yeah, He's got it.
I love you, Mom. I love you. Don't fear, don't fret, I'm with you, I'm your God. Don't fear, don't fret, I'm with you, I'm your God. I'm your God. I'm your God. Ooh, oh, ooh, oh.
And where this is all going as you come back into the picture is that the fashion industry, for me, created a constant neediness of almost like an addiction. So that if I saw something in a magazine, or you saw a commercial, or you saw somebody doing something in an acting arena, and you're like, well, I could do that if I just had her hair. Or I could do that if I could just maybe have those accessories. I could do that if I could, if. So you're always just churning and crunching this machine, and you're never satisfied with who you are deep inside. Where I could say, I love you, Jesus, and I trust you that you don't make any junk.
So beauty, as a teenager, I believed that beauty was popularity, being the center of attention and having all this around you. To me now, beauty is things that are overlooked, taking trash and making something beautiful out of that. When I've performed with my mom, or we've done things, we're acting in this relationship that came out of junk, you know? It was so ugly, but now it's so beautiful. It's a testimony of God. It's a testimony of God and what He can do with junk.
Don't fear, don't fret, I'm with you, I'm your God. Don't fear,